it out, ship 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 it out. Unfollow them niggas who asking for X. Unfollow them niggas, don't bother them niggas. Unfollow them niggas, don't bother them niggas. Keep watching them niggas is dead. Keep watching them niggas and stick to the plot. Dress like they homies, but move like they are.
Ain't nobody playing but you. Ain't nobody playing but you. Got the plug-in, nigga, what you want to? Got the plug-in, baby, tell me the most. I'm just out trying to get paid. I'm just trying to stay in the love. Never let a bitch finesse you out of play. Nigga, never let it get to your love.
Get it in, bust it down, back it up, ship it out, 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 get it in, bust it down, back it up, ship it out, 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 get it in, bust it down, back it up, ship it out, 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 get it in, bust it down, back it up, ship it out, ship it out, ship it out, ship it out, ship it out.
Why does a talented man like you need highs? Wouldn't just having that talent be enough of a high? You have an immense amount of talent. You started as a kid doing things that most grown-ups weren't capable of doing. Why in the world would a man with that kind of God-given talent need any help from drugs?
Okay, I say that drugs are not needed by a person of talent, that God blessed me with some talent. I never have utilized grass or any drugs or coke to actually, for a stepping stone to write or create music or create even a thought. And I'm not saying I need this high, I say I enjoy this high. I enjoy this high. I enjoy this high. I enjoy this high.
Yo, what's up, y'all? Harkos here with HipHop Hour, the greatest radio show and podcast on the whole motherfucking internet. Decided to start a little bit differently today with some Chilldoh Muggy with his track right there called Ship It Out. Great track right there from him. I'm going to do a little bit different tone in the show today as much as possible. Last few shows I've been extra amped up and wired up and everything like that, which is not a bad thing. But I just want to make sure that I switch it up for y'all every once in a while. So, how y'all doing? Welcome to the motherfucking show. For those of y'all the very first time tuning in, appreciate y'all. Welcome to HipHop Hour, the greatest radio show and podcast on the whole fucking internet, hands down. People have voted. Let's just say that, all right? And, but you can go check out any and everything HipHop Hour, hiphophour.net. You're looking for live links if you're not listening live right now, or you're looking for all the links for the replays where you can watch at your own convenience on multiple different streaming platforms. You can find it all at hiphophour.net on the very first page. We got iHeartRadio up now, getting ready to get a few other ones up as well too. Constantly working on trying to get on other platforms. But, if you guys like iHeartRadio, you can go check out HipHop Hour there. Links all up on the first page at hiphophour.net, like I said. And second page at hiphophour.net is where you can find all the information for all the great artists you hear right here on HipHop Hour. You want to go follow a certain artist on the streaming platforms or on the socials, you can get their links on their little bio right there on page 2 of featured artists on hiphophour.net. And then, of course, page 3 is where you can go show support for HipHop Hour. You can, got the donation option page. You got the store over there, stuff like that. But as long as you listen and share HipHop Hour, that's what we ask, all right? You want to go do anything above and beyond and rock with HipHop Hour and support the fuck out of the show? Hey, we definitely appreciate that as well, too. But tuning in is key, all right? Tuning in, enjoying the show, and responding with the show. Like I said, if you want to respond, go over to the Patreon. You can find the link for that on the first page at hiphophour.net, and you can go become a patron, and you can go chat with me live during the shows or at your own convenience and participate in the show. Let me know what y'all want to hear, everything like that, man. That's where you can get your voice heard right here on HipHop Hour. Anyway, Like I said, I got a great show for y'all today. I'm going to go ahead and kick it off with my checklist. For those of y'all who know, for those of y'all who don't know, I got a little checklist I do to start off every single show. Kind of gets me in the zone, gets the mood started for the show as well, too. First up on my list is my CBD oil. I get the 5 milligram little soft gels. I like to pop that shit underneath my tongue. There we go. And let it slowly absorb into my system. I love CBD. All right. I personally think everybody should at least try CBD. All right. If you try it, you don't like it, or whatever your situation, hey, that's perfectly fine. It really doesn't matter to me, man, because whatever you do to yourself is completely your choice, because it's yourself. It's not myself. It's yourself. And as long as you aren't harming nobody, taking nobody's stuff, or breaking nobody's stuff, you can do whatever you want with yourself, your body, your life. All right. Just don't mess with anybody else. All right. That's the basic tenets of freedom. That's the way I see it. That's the way I think everybody should live life. It makes it very, very simple. Do what you want. Live how you want. Just don't fuck with nobody else. Easy. Seems simple, right? That's what everybody wants. They want to be left alone to do what they want to do and not mess with anybody else. Well, except for those control freaks, but we all know what they do, right? Anyway, number 2 on my list is, for some control freaks, my number 2, my Glock 17. I keep this motherfucker with me all day, every day. I never get caught slipping. I suggest y'all do the same. Whether it's a Glock or a Smith & Wesson or Beretta, or whether you just don't trust yourself with a gun, or you live in a place that's really, really hard for you to get a gun, make sure you can protect yourself, your family, and your property at all times, some way, somehow. Whether it's a knife, stun gun, grenade, baton, flamethrower, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure you can protect yourself, your family, your property at all times, because there's always somebody trying to fuck you up or fuck you over. All right, 100% there is. Number 3 on my list is my homeboy, Mr. Snakey, in the background with me. For those of y'all viewing on the Patreon, you can see I got the Black Gaston Don't Tread on Me flag in the background with me at all times. Black Gaston flag stands for freedom above all else. No surrender. Don't fuck with me. Leave me alone. Let me live my life, and I won't fuck with you. Easy peasy, man. That's the life tenets that Harkos here tries to instill on everybody. I think it's a good fucking way to live. Most people that I run into agree with that in general as well, too. You know, they just want to live their life. They don't want to be fucked with, and they don't really want to fuck with other people, you know, unless it's defensive. But yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to the motherfucking show. Like I said, first up, that was Chilldoh Muggy with his track right there called Ship It Out. Nice smooth intro into HipHop Hour live today. Up next, I got Ill Gordon, brand new music video from him. Well, it's not brand new one in general, brand new one here on the show. I've never played this one yet, but you will be able to find the music video either on the music video playlist on hiphophour.net on the featured artist page. You can find the link to all the different playlists we got over there, or if you're watching on the video over on Patreon, you can see this music video. This is Ill Gordon with his great track right here called One Up. Crank it up, let's go.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Yeah. You tuned in to the best spitter. Them other rappers on that pussy shit. Cat litter. I'm that nigga that can come up with these rhymes quicker. Ain't none iller, cognac spiller. These facts, nigga. From my position, I see the truth and how to prove. I kill verses, ink on the page is bleeding through. From me to you can't name too many rappers better. They might have a couple bars, but mine are more clever. Like I can say that I'm cold like Chicago winters. Or I can say I'm so cold that I get warm in blizzards. Or the flow so cold that you can call it frigid. Either one only proves the point that I'm the coldest spitting. Widespread with my thoughts and get it while I'm living. I'm trying to see everything, a panoramic vision. Catching flights, collecting passport stamp things. And I go to make fire like I'm camping. Yeah, I'm up one, fall back. That shit you got, yo, what's all that? I'm on that. You know that I destroy tracks and whole stacks and expose cats with these raps. That's a known fact. I'm up one, fall back. That shit you got, yo, what's all that? I'm on that. You know that I destroy tracks and whole stacks and expose cats with these raps. That's a known fact. You know I'm a damn G, you ain't gon' do a damn thing. Try me in your car, it'll get pulled like a hamstring. Cause the shit I write got power like Stan Lee. Flow water, they dying of thirst, I got the canteen. Apparently, you'll see there is no comparing me. I raise bars and son rappers just like parenting. Going through these notebooks, writing on everything. The way I move through these papers is just like embezzling. I ain't gon' change it up, cause I only want the better things. And if it's too much, don't change the dope, get better things. I play with these and build on the low like a mezzanine. On the low, my shit be killing everything. Gordo. Yeah, I'm up one, fall back. That shit you got, yo, what's all that? I'm on that. You know that I destroy tracks and whole stacks and expose cats with these raps. That's a known fact. I'm up one, fall back. That shit you got, yo, what's all that? I'm on that. You know that I destroy tracks and whole stacks and expose cats with these raps. That's a known fact.
Yeah, right there, that was Ill Gordon with his great track right there called One Up. Dope music video as well too. Y'all gotta go check that music video out some way, shape, or form. HipHopHour.net on the featured artist page. You got the links for that playlist, or you got the Patreon. Alright, go over there, be a patron, and watch the full video version of Hip Hop Hour every single time I drop it, man. Another thing you can watch over on the YouTube on Hip Hop Hour. Alright, go to HipHopHour.net. You got the, at the very top, you got the little YouTube icon. Click on there, go like, share, follow, subscribe. You can still listen to the audio version of HipHopHour.net over there. You can see a few of the video versions. I gave y'all a few of them, kind of tease y'all, let y'all know what it's about, and then started putting everything strictly over on the Patreon for the video version, because it does take a little bit of time for me to edit that and stuff like that. So, you know, if y'all want to go show support and show love and everything like that, I got a little something extra for y'all over there on the Patreon. But one thing you can see for free over on the YouTube, all you gotta do is subscribe, is the rants from Harkos. And it's a new little thing I started doing, man, because I started catching myself going on rants in the middle of the show. And so I started the video version back up again, recording it in video, and then I'll clip that out and I'll put that up in a special segment over there and stuff like that as well too. Whether y'all agree, disagree, man, hey, either way, it's good entertainment either way. That's all I gotta say. But you can check all that out, like I said, hiphophour.net. And that's where you'll find that music video for Ill Gordon right there, One Up, or you'll find a lot of other great music videos from all these other great artists. All right. Up next. Let me see here. What do I want to play next? Let me go ahead and play. I got a brand new A-zee and Skeeny with their great track right here called The Darkness. Crank it up. Let's go.
At night, looking like I'm Grim the Reaper. Never been sleeping right, maybe that's why I got this cleaver. I can't believe these eyes, they always lie, they try to deceive ya. These eager beavers forming open bay procedures, here's the teaser. My brother got backed up on the misdemeanor. They went pen, and now we're waging more like he descend for Caesar. Easy geezer, skin this guy with a potato peeler. You know what peeler, pull his eyes like use his hat to see me bun this planet, call me freezer. Don't give a damn like Weezer. Yeah, I wouldn't wanna be you, tell your dims and then that laugh like a hyena. He is feeling this scene, and know what mean across me. I disappear, have a mask him, have I seen you? It's untangible. I break the manacles, I spraying bars, I'm bossing heavy shit. Fabric cannibals, every beat I eat it like a cannibal. Trust me, fam, I am it all. Master of the mind, never call me fucking Hannibal. Titan in this game, I'm fucking standing tall. From the galaxy, grab the moon, slamming down like I get smashing balls. Service butane, it's in my vein, I'm so flammable. Maybe it's the Adderall that got me in control, like I'm the capital. Like I'm the capital, splat, I'm all moving lateral fat. I am unflappable, clap 'em all at the front, I am unpassable. Animal moving casual, command it like an admiral, yo. My whole life like a Spartan, but I don't be starting. The doctors not no Martins. Stay with my team, I'm always grafting. Turn the scene into a bloodbath, avoiding this darkness. Fighting like a Spartan, but I don't be starting. The doctors not no Martins. Stay with my team, I'm always grafting. Turn the scene into a bloodbath,
My brain's fused, bro, probably from this 8-zoo. Same shoes, worn and torn up under this grey moon. In this day and age, the youth will do a lot for a changed mood. The toxins bubble like a lung full of K2. That's mad sickening, man. Just ask A-zee. I drift in daydreams, but life's not all bong rips and daisies. I'm 18, the Mercedes, I rock a gatey. Making ruckus on a budget is known to be Jake Steez. Find me emerging from Beckenham swamps. You little bronx would hear a single flow and lay a turd in your jocks. We do this daily, son, blazing flavors of papers till my nasals are craters of vapors raising above. Cause the music waves over like a mushroom cloud. In a way that it sounded like it not come down. I spin like a compass round, scrumptious like a crumpet with an abundance of thunder clouds. So I'm striking and raining while silently Satan is slicing my mind with razors for entertainment, intensive dangers. That's my sense of center. I disintegrate and enter a fresh adventure. Cause you know I see what my path is, to forever burn within and keep out the darkness.
I've never been avoiding this darkness, fighting like a Spartan, but I don't be starting. The doctors not no Martins. Stay with my team, I'm always grafting. Turn the scene into a bloodbath, avoiding this darkness. Fighting like a Spartan, but I don't be starting. The doctors not no Martins. Stay with my team, I'm always grafting. Turn the scene into a bloodbath, Yo,
Yeah, right there. That was A-zee and Skeeny with their great track right there called The Darkness. Brand new one right there, and that's got a crazy ass music video to it. You can find that on Urban Link's YouTube channel. Like I said, you can find that over on the music video playlist for HipHop Hour, or of course over on the Patreon. But that's a trippy ass music video, man. A-zee and those guys over at Urban Links, man, they come up with some crazy shit on their music videos, and not all the time are they even in it. They'll take like clips of different things and put it all together. It's fucking sick, man. I gotta commission them to do a couple of shit for me, man, because that shit's dope, man. Anyway, up next, I got Haynesy. Oh yeah, those guys right there from the UK, man. I forgot to shout that out. We got a lot of hip-hop artists from the UK, and I just reached out to like 5 or 6 more last night too, and got a couple of them starting to message me back already this morning. With me being in the US and them being in the UK, it usually takes an extra day to get contact back from some of these artists, just because I'll message them at like 11 o'clock at night my time, and that's like the crack of dawn over there in the US and the UK, and so they might not answer until they wake up, which will be the afternoon or whatever, and then I get up in my morning, and it's like their evening when I'm messaging them back, and yeah, it's interesting, but we still get it taken done. Anyway, some more UK artists right here, Haynesy and JD with their track right here called On Your Feet. Crank it up, let's go.
Time to wake up. Hear the calling, 7 in the morning, everybody on your feet. Stop the stalling, trip but never falling, everybody on your feet. Take heed the warning, time to put your all in, everybody on your feet. Get to marching, we are not conforming, everybody on your feet. Hear the calling, 7 in the morning, everybody on your feet. Stop the stalling, trip but never falling, everybody on your feet. Take heed the warning, time to put your all in, everybody on your feet. Get to marching, we are not conforming, everybody on your feet. Tell me what will it take to make you get off your seat, get on your feet. Time was ever in the head of this beast, settle the beef. No surrender, never retreat. This susceptible sucking, but they ain't pleasuring me. Demons crawling from the bottomless hole. Made you want it, now they're coming, so you're swallowing loads. Follow who owns, but I'm a bloodhound, I follow my nose. I smell deception and protection, so I gotta reload. Puppet
Politicians put my people at the point of peril, so we wrestle devils for the money they embezzle. While infectious political correctness injections got us fighting with each other while they try and sink the vessel. Need some meditation way before I call for reckoning. To have a conversations like a mental war we're stepping in. Endless calls and messages, quick to form a precipice. We need to stand for something or we're gonna fall for anything. Hear the calling, 7 in the morning. Everybody on your feet. Stop the stalling, trip but never falling. Everybody on your feet. Take it, no warning. Time to put your all in. Everybody on your feet. Get some margin, we are not conforming. Everybody on your feet. Even rap is turning into Becky's without the rhythm. Empty universities and crowded prisons. Doubt you'll listen. Sheep are to the slaughterhouse. The shepherd is the algorithm. Sound of Britain blaming all the immigrants for how we're living. See you Europe, I would love to stay, but I'm a visitor. Is leaving my decision now or Cambridge Analytica's? I'm stating for my listeners, the state is towing prisoners. I'm thinking fuck the law like getting brain off my solicitors. All these nut jobs are living la vida loca, sniffing coca and living the dream. I'm on a mission to see this planet's prisoners free. I'd rather die on my feet than never live on my knees. You're staring at an empty pool, but just because the telly box said it's not, you're climbing to the very top to belly flop. Tell you what, if you want change, reveal your heart and get up off your ass. 7 billion man march. Hear the calling, 7 in the morning. Everybody on your feet. Stop the stalling, trip but never falling. Everybody on your feet. Take it, no warning. Time to put your all in. Everybody on your feet. Get some margin, we are not conforming. Everybody on your feet.
Yeah, right there, Haynesy and JD straight out the UK with their great track right there, Cold on Your Feet. They make some dope fucking music together, man. That's some great shit. Another great artist, 2 great artists from the UK. I got K-Saulz and Mr. Substance, and they released their debut music video here for their brand new track called All You Need to Know, and I got it right here. Alright, so whether you like the track or you like the music video as well too, like I said, you can find it at all the different places, man. HipHopHour.net, everything to go, everything to see, everything to be. Up next, like I said, K-Saulz, Mr. Substance, All You Need to Know. Crank it up, let's go.
That's all you need to know. And that's all you need to know.
Do I take the blue pill or the red pill? Don't matter the colour, Sauce is dead ill. I lay back, my head chilled, more space to think. Lockdown has helped me with my pen skills. Write cold bars on my toilet, my igloo. My poo stinks, but so does the shit you spit too. Only one of me would love a twin you, so I could beat you twice and celebrate with a skin full on the veranda. Blind drunk and man hugs, fist pumps, no bad blood, don't act tough. We only produce anthems, your tracks like workmanship of a low standard. Are you after rewards or after reward? Cause you must be sick or crazy, you can't ignore that's Mr. Substance and K-Saulz will outclass your poor attempt at hip-hop. You will fall.
The ego is evil, no idol or hero. Don't let fear turn you into a zero. Your heart's your guide to stay your home. Act right like a Gino or De Niro. Let your soul steal the show. Don't let go until you grow. The ego is evil, no idol or hero. And that's all you need to know.
When this corona shit's over, see us touring, not able to perform live. It's quite boring, applauding myself when I spit now. Lockdown, don't stop these bars pouring, no zipper on my mouth. A son of a true sportsman, though the game's postponed. Locker rooms closed, I'm still honing my skills. It's the only logical thing to do to remain sharp like prickly bush, hot like Vindaloo. Fuck the virus, it won't define us. No silence, we're titans, greater than Cyrus. Try to refrain from carnal pleasures. Keep yourself healthy and take the right measures. Go for your leisurely walks, but fuck their time and be wise and considerate. But there's lies that they're hiding. The emphasis is this, it's reaching bliss, not being brainwashed by bullshit the media gives.
The ego is evil, no idol or hero. Don't let fear turn you into a zero. Your heart's your guide to stay your home. Act right like a Gino or De Niro. Let your soul steal the show. Don't let go until you grow. The ego is evil, no idol or hero. And that's all you need to know.
You're about to lose this game, I'm the ace of spades. You're way off track whilst I stay in my lane. I'm an original inhabitant on this planet, man. An aboriginal in tune with my habitat. You roam the streets like a lone alley cat, a pussy with no home, hang with gutter rats. I cave heads in with raps like a battle axe, cause an accident and I damage caps. Won't arouse suspicion the way I handle my business for rounds efficient. You're standing around wishing you taken action, learn your lessons, do the maths, cause you're just a fraction away from losing your life or having kids and passing on your knowledge through parentage. So better one rabbit because Elmer Thug is coming. Better go back to your Warren G and regulate your fronting.
The ego is evil, no idol or hero. Don't let fear turn you into a zero. Your heart's your guide to steer you home. Act right like a Gino or De Niro. Let your soul steal the show. Don't let go until you grow. The ego is evil, no idol or hero. And that's all you need to know.
Yeah, right there. K-Saulz and Mr. Substance with their great track and music video right there called All You Need to Know. Dope track right there from them. Up next, I got a brand new track right here, straight out of the UK from Rkive. This is featuring PhoreCite. This is their track right here called Feel the Hate. Crank it up.
Yo, check it, yo. I can feel it linger, hear the voices in the distance. Belligerent but still consistent, persistent and on a mission. Poverty-driven communism, flame flicker from the clipper, belittling your existence. Diminish the life you're living, whether Arab or a Christian. Hippie or politician, I'm hitting my opposition. Swinging and never missing, let's measure who the biggest. I'm sickest without an image. Crippling competition, each breath that I've been given's a walking contradiction. A flaw in your tradition, I'm clawing through the fiction. Dismissing your religion while sporting crucifixion. Exhibits of an affliction, addiction. There's merely wisdom, submission by superstition. Lost inside the rhythm, a sinister composition. Each written that I deliver slims inside your system. There's power in this pencil, the weapon is elemental, detrimental to your credentials. Feel the hate, it's burning through the people reach. I wanna murder these people, right? I feel I can't live no more, right? I feel I can't live no more, hate. It's burning through the people reach. I wanna murder these people, right? I feel I can't live no more. I feel I can't live no more.
I fell back asleep, floating over the sheets. The room's so cold that it started to freeze. The exorcist arrived, but that fucker was weak. My head spun 100 degrees. He ended his run as a priest, my funded defeat. I'm running up in the streets, I'm punching you cunts in the cheek. That demon that possessed me was a fuckery G. I trapped him deep inside. Said you fucked if you leave, but try and run if you please. Rappers front on the beat, get jumped for the weed. Chicken heads be fucking getting punched in the beat. Can't bust a nut on your weed because my drunks are the freak. Running arcades cause he fucked his degrees. I'm still a bomb and a fiend. I'm sat on in the reef until my eyes are red. PhoreCite numb at my feet. Well I got a crack code fucking sucking on each. Yeah.
Feel the hate, it's burning through the people reach. I wanna murder these people, right? I feel I can't live no more, right? I feel I can't live no more, hate. It's burning through the people reach. I wanna murder these people, right? I feel I can't live no more, right? I feel I can't live no more.
Yeah, Rkive right there with his track Feel the Hate. Dope track right there from him. Rkive's a dope fucking artist, man. I'm glad I found him. Like, honestly, I can't even remember how I found half the fucking artists that are on HipHop Hour. You know, a lot of them will come to me through references or something like that. You know, one of the artists on the show will be like, hey, you know, you should check out, you know, HipHop Hour, go hit up Harkos or whatever, he'll get you on. Or they'll stumble across it because they'll be looking for like radio stations or something like that to promote their music to. Or I'll see somebody on my Facebook page share some other shit, you know. K-Saulz, he's been sharing a lot of dope UK artists here lately, and I asked him, I was like, dude, where are you finding these people? You know, because a lot of them are dope. And he's like, oh man, they just find me. So I was like, well, shit, you care if I start poaching? He goes, no, go for it. So I started doing it. Same with Chilldoh Muggy, man. Chilldoh, he's working on doing some stuff. You know, he's got the OTS podcast. Y'all need to go check that shit out over on Spotify and stuff. It's up on YouTube as well too. But OTS podcast, go check that out. But he's got some other stuff he's been working on, trying to build up Spotify playlists and stuff like that. And he did a call out for people's Spotify, and I asked him, you know, hey man, get a couple dope artists on here, can I start poaching? He said, man, go for it. I was like, all right, done. You know, because if you're familiar on the internet and you do anything with music, pardon me, but you know that you'll constantly, you know, you get people doing self-promotion on your posts, right? And they'll be over there doing self-promotion. They'll even be over there trying to steal people and shit like that off your thing and start harassing them. And nobody ever likes that. So I like to try to be professional with it, you know? I like to try to reach out to the person who posted the original thing looking for artists or whatever, but hey, you know what I do. I got a relationship I built with you. Do you care if I, you know, put my shit down in here as well too? And they're like, yeah man, go for it. So, you know, that's how I like to do. I don't like to just start throwing shit out there and start randomly fucking chatting people and stuff like that, you know, unless the original poster of it is cool with it, you know, the person where I found it. But anyway, right there, that was Rkive, straight out the UK. Up next, man, it's like UK section right here, right now, man. Because on the Sunday show, which is what it's today, right? Whenever you're listening to it on the replay, that's your own business. I always like to say that. But on the Sunday show, right here, I'm going from noon to 2 Eastern Standard Time right here in the United States. And that is roughly 5 to 7 p.m. In the UK, right? So it's their evening time, and it's prime time for them to be tuning in on the live streams that we got, that you can find over at hiphophour.net. But the live radio stations that host Hip Hop Hour, you know, over in the UK, the artists and fans of those artists can tune in live. And so I like to play a little bit more on the Sunday show, because on the Wednesday show, it's 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And so that's like fucking 3 to 5 a.m. in the UK or something like that. And so I tend to play a little bit more US artists at that time, but I try to keep it in a half-half mix of most. Either way, Wayne Webster right here shutting me the fuck up with his track right here called Dear Mind. Crank it up.
You're so alone in there, just know I am your mate. Oh mind, oh why do you incite this riot? Deep inside us seems to blind us. Read between these lines we write. I've been the only one that you needed. I know the reasons behind the secrets. For the fire inside us you feed it, but as far as rising higher and we can beat it, I try settle you when you ain't sleeping. I'm so tired of trying to find a meaning, so inspired to write what you believe in, but it's so hard when you don't believe it. This is me speaking to myself. Look around, I don't see no one else. It's only you that can pull us through this hell that we made for ourselves. The grass is green and the sky is blue. The flowers in this garden bloom, singing to this birdie tune. Not everything's so dark and gloom. Why do you always want to kick us when we get down? The whole world is ready and willing to do that for us. Don't you do that now? We've been fighting for life in these trenches, but it's time that we won this war. In deep regret when we forget the reasons we done this for.
Dear mind, oh why do you get so unsure? You need to learn to open up when opportunity knocks at your door. You've been holding both of us back when you attack what we stand for. All these Michael high defenses need to crumble to the floor. I said no more, you gonna die yourself, no more. You gonna eye yourself, no more. You gonna drown yourself, rely yourself. For sure we can reach this shore. Take the count with this hardship, steer with the fear of a life unlived. Live this, calmly inside of this storm. See a lightning storm when I spit this. Let's go and get this, cause it's pain ain't yours. Dancing when the rain it pours, smiling as you do your chores. Trust me son, there is work to be done, but dear mind, I need you clear on board.
I swear to God, man, we go beat these odds, the cost we can't afford. So please, don't want to kick us every time when we get down. The whole world is ready and willing to do that for us. Don't you do that now. We've been fighting for life in these trenches, when it's time that we won this war. In deep regret when we forget the reason we done this for, what we do this for. I couldn't stand my own company back when my mind was my enemy, but now it's my friend. It's giving me strength, exempt from all this anxiety. Patience that I had to remedy, frustrations, mum was killing me. It took me a while, a bulletproof smile, aware in the face of adversity. Man, this world is a lot to me. Spend most of my time in monotony, just trying to make sense, just trying to accept the depth of this corner's reality. Power lost to this agony, when the power that you went and all took from me. How you all to the best of me. I'm all about number one now. Why do you always want to kick us when we get down? The whole world is ready and willing to do that for us. Don't you do that now. We've been fighting for life in these trenches, when it's time that we won this war. In deep regret when we forget all the reasons we did this for, when we do this for.
Yeah, right there. Wayne Webster with another dope track right there from him called Dear Mind. Like I told y'all last week, man, or 2 weeks ago, I can't fucking remember, 2 episodes ago, I said how Wayne Webster is one of those artists, man, who's constantly putting out shit with like a hardcore deep message. That's just what he does, man, and it's great, man. He puts out some dope shit. Last episode, I premiered, whatever you want to call it, his brand new track and music video called Tinfoil Hat. Y'all gotta go check that out. It actually spurred me to go on a rant. I kind of did it on purpose because sometimes I don't really know where I want a rant to go, and sometimes I have a general idea, and I wanted to talk about conspiracy theories because whenever I had heard that track, I was like, oh man, I gotta put this on right before I do my rant and have it kind of, move me, mentally. And so I intentionally did that. Sometimes I'll intentionally do that. Sometimes something will hit me. I'll play a track and boom, sometimes I'll just be flipping through Facebook and boom, like, dude, I'm not gonna go on a rant right now, but I usually try to save that for after halfway through the show. But I woke up this morning and I got an LG phone, and so if you're on the main home screen and you swipe to the right, it'll come up with like Google News or whatever, right? And man, all the fucking articles were all horribly negative, and I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, we can't have one positive article whenever I fucking wake up in the morning and fucking scroll through the news and shit. No, can't have any positive articles. Those are illegal. We're in a time of change. We're in like what's called the fourth turning, man. If y'all don't know about the fourth turning, man, y'all need to check that shit out. But we're in the middle of a fourth turning, and that shit's got to get turned somehow. So hell no, we ain't gonna have no positive fucking articles. You can't hardly find positive articles, man. It's always something, because there's this documentary that I saw. When did I see that shit? I saw that shit back in like 2006 when I was in Iraq. I bought it on Amazon. It's called The Power of Nightmares. It was a BBC documentary that was shot back in like, when was that? It was probably around 2005, 2006ish, something like that. And it was about, the pretext for going to war, in general, but it had 3 different parts, and it started out back basically it was highly anti-neoconservative. All right, so if y'all don't know what neoconservatives are, you can go look that up. I'm not gonna get into that today, but anyway, it went into how the neoconservatives and a couple different groups in the power structure realized that they could use fear as a manipulation tool of the public, because they realized that using fear was more powerful, and they gained more power than using good, right? So before, politicians had always tried to be like, hey, we want to make things better, hey, you got this, that, and the third and everything like that, but then they realized fear is a better motivator, because like I've told y'all before on previous rants, when your heart rate gets above 100 beats per minute, you can't think rationally. So if you're in a panic state, you can be guided. It's very, very simple. But yeah, The Power of Nightmares is fucking great documentary, and it opens your mind, man. Like it goes off into some segues and stuff like that, talking about how they used, like, you know, the super religious right towards their benefit, and, you know, divine intervention and all this stuff like that, you know, which is all still pretty interesting. Some people vibe with that, some people don't. I know at that point in time, whenever I was going through an awakening per se, that really spoke to me in all aspects. But now here in 2020, whenever I go and watch that, I mainly watch like I still watch the whole thing, but I really focus on what happened. See, that documentary is so old that you can watch it and see all the stuff that was actually going on during, you know, the post 9/11 time frame, and it really gives you a good point of view for seeing how they do things. Is a formula, and that's kind of what has led me to see through all the bullshit of coronavirus and shit. So I'm not gonna get too deep into that, but that's definitely one thing you guys gotta check out. But, you know, that's kind of the stuff that spurs my rants. So another thing to spur the rant, man, you go to fucking Patreon and let me know something you want me to talk about. We'll get it cracking, man. But anyway, or leave a comment on one of the rants. You know, you like this one, you want to see more like this, yada yada, stuff like that. But in general, I mean, you know, I do what I want. You know, and I say what I want, I think what I want, and if you want to try to manipulate that, well, you better have a good reason. All right, you gotta speak to me, talk to me, say what's up. Anyway, up next, let's come on back to the United States. I got S.bee with his track called On My Way To. Crank it up, let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wavy Boy Productions.
Yeah, I'm on my way. 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 Out to make a dime. Yeah, I'm on my way. Strike me if I'm lying. Yeah, I'm on my way. With this light of mine. Yeah, I'm on my way. Yeah, I'm on my way. On the grind, on my hustle, gotta get the pay. Got the money on my mind each and every day. I want that new Ferrari, little bad bitch, dripping with the sauce. You can't get past this. Bacardi dripping, yeah, I'm sipping, gotta free my mind. You gotta go and get yours, you ain't getting mine. Nice watch, latest phone, bitch, I'm bossed up. You can't afford the prices of the shit it cost us. Mama chillin' like a villain while I'm making hits. Yeah, I see you shoot your shot, but you be shooting bricks. Where the weed, man, that my cousin need a nick. Going up in this bitch, shit, we getting lit. Yeah, I'm on my way. 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 Out to make a dime. Yeah, I'm on my way. Strike me if I'm lying. Yeah, I'm on my way. With this light of mine. Yeah, I'm on my way. Yeah, I'm on my way. Junkies asking for $1 like I work for them. Still slide in my pocket and I broke a 10. Make it through the light. Shit, I'm feeling right. When I make it home, she gon' get the pipe. She a tech, little mama went to mad school. Half my family went to Lake, that was a bad school. Tryna live it up, so it's going down. Cousin throwing up, he mixed the light with brown. Bumping Bobby Brown, I think I'm Bobby now. OG Bobby Johnson, flexing on him often. Bitch, I'm dressed to kill, drop him in a coffin. Say the flow is sick, but I ain't steady coughing. Yeah, I'm on my way. 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 Out to make a dime. Yeah, I'm on my way. Strike me if I'm lying.
All right. Right there, that was S.bee with his track right there called On My Way To. Dope track right there from him. Apologize about my throat, y'all. Y'all know how it is, man. Y'all been tuning in for a while. You know that Harkos got fucking allergy and sinus issues, and especially in the morning, man. On Sunday morning shows, it takes me a little bit to get that shit all cleared the fuck out. But up next, I got Erikson with his track right here called Rescue Mission. Crank it up.
Cause everybody needs a hero. No one can do it alone. We all need a little help to make it through the day in hopes of finding a better way. Loyalty pronounced, played out soon as the guns came out. All the women and the children get in the house. Not an ounce of dignity lives on these streets. Just scoundrels in the malcontents. Their mouths begin to formulate the words of a heathen, trapped inside the body of a demon, leaking secrets to the underworld, publicly revealed as a source of all sight and sound, played by the downtrodden, rotten to the core, sore from all the anger misguided. The hurt you can't hide it or deny it. The underlying fact is low self-esteem and lack of resources change the whole game. Slow mind frame from cook cocaine, rock solid steep in the skin grafts. Now the body found in the Roach Motel on Telegraph. Don't laugh, cause everybody needs a hero. No one can do it alone. We all need a little help just to make it through the day in hopes of finding a better way. Cause everybody needs a hero. No one can do it alone. We all need a little help to make it through the day in hopes of finding a better way. Now when she came to, I looked her dead in the eyes. I said, don't do that again or you won't survive. Today's your lucky day, actually you're blessed. Welcome to the first day of your new life. A fresh start in order to switch the narrative. Imperative to be the early blackbird in this round robin competition. Life has a new addition, a heat wave formed by mind-blowing decisions. Headstrong ways cause you to slip, but now attention is focused on life and the benefits. Restoring the normalcy of basic activities, accountable for actions through acts of humanity. Simplicity is genius, my favorite ism. We vibrate higher to expand the rhythm and increase the faith of man, woman, and child. If we really want change, then we gotta act now. Cause everybody needs a hero. No one can do it alone. We all need a little help just to make it through the day in hopes of finding a better way. Cause everybody needs a hero. No one can do it alone. We all need a little help to make it through the day in hopes of finding a better way.
Yeah, right there. That was Erikson with his track right there called A Rescue Mission. Up next, I got a brand new track right here from Katastrophe, straight out the UK. This is his fucking track. Where's it at? God damn it, I lost it. There it is right there. Alright, this is his track right here called This Is Not a Sonnet. Crank it up.
This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. I'm a spear, I'm the voice in your head that you hear. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. I'm a spear, I'm the voice in your head that you hear. Words come in physical form, you look forlorn. The metaphor left you cleft, quickly torn, caught in a storm, catching breath. You ain't slept, now you're worn. Circling a circuit in a circle in some corn. Battle starts at dawn, battle lines are drawn. Symbolism in your mind is born, yet it sticks in your side like a thorn. Get your armor, I'm a spirit risen in the prison of rhythm, victim of vision, my condition, wordsmith. This ain't living, I'm a living hieroglyph. Make your vertebrae split as I reverberate script. My curse gift occurs with coercive verses, verbose wordish. I hear the verse mix, but there's serpents below the surface. Hear them hiss. Wish upon a star, man, I'm a star upon a wish. I shut you down and I ain't shutting down for Tish. It has to be catastrophe in this. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. I'm a spear, I'm the voice in your head that you hear. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. I'm a spear, I'm the voice in your head that you hear. Watch your words come alive before your eyes, then be burnt alive. This is verbicide. Visualize the visible in a mind, a vision verbalized, individually vilified. Now watch the vigil rise, simplified. This is syllable cyanide, synchronized. Now center on a minotaur and a mind, a center in a shrine, a center scent of a paradigm, a pattern of a pattern of rhyme. Pitter patter, Peter picture, putrid pepper. I panicked at the panoramic. I pepper passion in a paragraph, then paraglide, paralyzed. Welcome to my pantomime. Verbal villain am I, more than vanilla am I. I'm like a villa in Dubai, vivid in the mind's eye. I was livid before I learnt to fly. Now watch as Gemini glide, just him and I. I'm talking to myself, I could wonder why, but I'm out of time. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. I'm a spear, I'm the voice in your head that you hear. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. I'm a spear, I'm the voice in your head that you hear. This is not a sonnet, nah. I sing a song till you sung it, nah. It's sing song at sunset, nah. It's a fight at midnight. Jab, uppercut, strike. I don't spit verse, I write a curse to recite. These words will take your life. Metaphors, metaphors, I met my thoughts. My metaphors at a leper's door, reading a letter from the floor. My leopard's claw, what I came here for, I'm not sure, but a sense I've been here before. I don't preach, I split you open with speech. I'll leave you broken beneath, then build you back up to your feet. Let's take a leap, I took a period, pirouetted, pivoted, ended the pyramid, complete the pilgrimage. Had 3 kids despite circumstances being limited. Tight, you know I love you right, but like panzers from the Third Reich, problems coming at us left and right. I'll keep battling, Stannis, Baratheon, Sun Tzu stratagem. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. I'm a spear, I'm the voice in your head that you hear. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. This is not a sonnet, and I am not shakes. I'm a spear, I'm the voice in your head that you hear.
Yeah, right there, that was Katastrophe with his great track right there called This Is Not a Sonnet. Dope track right there from him. Up next, what did I have on the fucking slate? Ah yeah, Leo CaSeeNo with his track right here called Birds. Crank it up.
Leo CaSeeNo, Jack Crosby. It's good, fam. Yappa salivating, spitting like a llama do. Entrance wounds, little exit wounds is where the trauma grew. Problems you look into the mirror, lying quitter. Drink your bitters, never need exonerators or acquitters. Bullet holes in men's clothes, call it counter haberdashery. Habitat's a travesty, the lab is where the rabbit got the magic. Disappeared into the hat, no longer sitting where he sat. Snake that eats its own tail, Ouroboros all hail. Pouring out the holy grail, breaking bread with my disciples. You're bobbing like a Judas, 30 silver pieces, prove it. Dirty pill for mind and move it. Enter ears but not intrusive. You act like you're exclusive, but your girl is all inclusive. My plans might seem elusive, and they are is what the truth is. I create my own music in my likeness, image, ruthless carving tablets, 10 commandments, sacrificial lamb. I'm here to drop heat, fire, brimstone, blam. I'll be flapping wings like them birds do. I'll be flapping wings like them birds do. I'll be flapping wings just like birds do. I'll be flapping wings like them birds do. Fallen angel Lucifer is light bringer. Devil wears a black car, harder sewing singer is my right hand cannon. Way it punches all holes, rapidly succession flows from your torso towards your toes. No one knows when hell froze, might have been a month. Bars bite, bars crunch, afternoon y'all lunch. Falcon punch, powder talcum munch. 6 foot, 7 foot, 8 foot bunch. Duck and cover under desk, miss missile countdown launch. Salamini convoy, precision strike, y'all squanched. Devil on my shoulder, got him caged up like a beast. 666 singing violin and melody. Key to life is balance, so I got my angel on the other. Two sides, same coin. Flip the slug is made of rubber. Either hater or a lover, and the grays are in between. Spaceship beamed up, staying calm, don't scream.
I be flapping wings like the birds do. I be flapping wings like the birds do.
Yeah, right there. That was Leo CaSeeNo with his great track right there called Birds. Love that motherfucking track right there. Up next, we go ahead and play. The fuck? Oh, there it is. See, sometimes I got my shit planned out, and sometimes I forget what the fuck I was doing because I'm trying to do too many things in between the tracks. But up next, gonna go ahead and play Lyrik, Scaife, and I'm like, crank it up.
Yeah, create mind, this motherfucking movement. Yeah, it's Lyrik. And we have in the building today, people, my guy Ricks. Oh, shit. And I'm like, who the fuck is you to say what I need to do? If you ain't looking through the eyes I always been seeing through. All the risk a nigga took for my team to make it through. I don't play it by the book, but I still be keeping it cool. I'm like, who the fuck is you to say what I need to do? If you ain't looking through the eyes I always been seeing through. All the risk a nigga took for my team to make it through. I don't play it by the book, but I still be keeping it cool. I'm like, sitting here thinking, my mind is black. Like, why this Scoob had to die? Why I'm riding with Glocks? Kill a nigga on this block where we opened up shop. My ignorance is leading me to keep it cocked. Plus I'm temperamental, far from a dentist, but this Midwest expert at dental. Murky where it hurt you, problem finished. Ain't no telling when I'ma slide, that's why I'm always in a rental. Helter Skelter when I jump on instrumentals. I feel like Heath Ledger with these beats, I wanna kill him. Don't need Giuseppe steppers on my feet, I'm gonna get it. In New Balance to keep my balance. While I'm sprinting, I don't care if I sprain my ankle. I make it to the finish and build that stupid credit. Have all my vehicles rented. I'ma come up all respect and I won't even need them tenant. Niggas is bitches, they spitting piss, but I'ma keep on shitting. Suicidal up on this shit like slit wrists when I and rip I'm it. Like, who the fuck is you to say what I need to do? If you ain't looking through the eyes I always been seeing through. All the risk a nigga took for my team to make it through. I don't play it by the book, but I still be keeping it cool. I'm like, who the fuck is you to say what I need to do? If you ain't looking through the eyes I always been seeing through. All the risk a nigga took for my team to make it through. I don't play it by the book, but I still be keeping it cool. I'm
if
like,
you fuck my bitch and keep her, I don't want her back. Hell no, you cannot hold my knee, this ain't no loaner strap. I came from nothing, started hustling, I ain't going back. I'm just an east side nigga tryna blow some racks. You caught that case, it ain't no stitching, you can't fall for that. Yeah, I'm a rapper and an actor, but all I know is trap. Listen, I'm never slipping, inconsistent by my red. With that being said, get that mission out your head. I'm affiliated with them, no initiation. You can't incriminate me, I be in and out of places. I'm not a people person, but I count a lot of faces. The main crib vacant till I'm done paper chasing. I'm moving Catalina out the kitchen hard way. I doubled up the inch for taking a small pay. Rotating traffic, been knotting up all day. Put the money in the safe and re-up on Monday.
And I'm like, who the fuck is you to say what I need to do? If you ain't looking through the eyes I always been seeing through. All the risk a nigga took for my team to make it through. I don't play it by the book, but I still be keeping it cool. I'm like, who the fuck is you to say what I need to do? If you ain't looking through the eyes I always been seeing through. All the risk a nigga took for my team to make it through. I don't play it by the book, but I still be keeping it cool. I'm like, we have another. Goddamn. Shout out my man's Rich and Mitch. Damn. Creative minds, motherfucking movement. Shit on this one. And like I always say, it's more than just music.
Boom. 100%, man. It's way more than fucking music. Like I've told y'all 1,000 times, man, hip-hop is a culture, not a genre of music, alright? Yeah, the genre of hip-hop music comes out of hip-hop the culture, but the culture is way more than that, man. The culture involves so much stuff. The culture is just like any other culture. Look at any other culture, any culture that you belong to. right? Aside from hip hop, because if you're tuned into here to Hip Hop Hour, then you're part of hip hop, the culture. But I mean, it's not the only way to do it, obviously. But I'm just saying. Anyway, look at any culture. It's got its own music, its own food, its own everything. And it's just like hip hop. But hip hop doesn't have any barriers. Hip hop is worldwide, man. I mean, I lay it out right here for y'all on Hip Hop Hour every single fucking show. We got artists from all around the world, man. All around the United States. You got the UK area, everything like that. And constantly growing. You know, that track with A-zee a little bit ago, with Skeeny. Skeeny's from Australia. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a worldwide culture of hip hop, man. You know, I've seen hip hop music in all different languages. You know, I mean, we got Dre Yard from Bulgaria, dope hip hop producer who puts on a lot of great music. Puts on a lot of great artists on all of his mixtapes and shit like that. You know, he puts out and he gets artists, you know, from the United States, but also a lot of other places. And, you know, he puts it out on his own platforms online and you know, to his Bulgarian fan base and the United States fan base, everything like that. You know, he hails from Bulgaria. That's not in fucking New York, which is where hip hop started. New York City, man, is where hip hop started, and it's grown all around the world, man, all around the world. I've seen Middle Eastern hip hop popping out too. I've seen that shit. It's interesting, man. Like, you know, they speak in Arabic, so I can't understand what they're saying, but just to watch like the video and to kind of see in general what they're doing and stuff, it's still pretty fucking interesting. You know, you got hip hop at its core, which is real hip hop, which has messages and actually speaks for some shit. And then you got, you know, mainstream style rap, which is just people just rapping on beats, you know, which is all fine. They can do what they want to, but, you know, half the time the motherfuckers don't have any soul. You gotta have soul to be in hip hop. You want to be in rap, you want to be a rap star, you want to be on main stage and shit like that, you don't have to have a fucking soul. You don't have to. In fact, they prefer you don't have a soul, because if you don't have a soul, then you'll do anything that you're told just for some money, for a little bit more fame, a couple more pictures, you know. Like I started the conspiracy theory that MGK got Megan Fox because he sold his soul, like 100%. And that's why he was at that award show here recently, wearing all pink and looking like fucking what I saw Machine Gun Shelly, Machine Gun Nancy. I saw somebody, I can't remember who the fuck it was. Somebody posted whenever I was talking about that. I posted this thing saying Megan Fox must be a top because MGK went full bitch. And but somebody posted a picture of the Golden Girls. If you don't know what Golden Girls are, it's like an older show from, I think it was like the 90s, early 2000s, something like that. Has Betty White and some other older ladies that were in there or whatever, and there was all like, you know, it was a show about retired women's life or whatever, right? But it's got apologize. It's got the picture of their cover, and then it's got him photoshopped in there. Hilarious as fuck, man. Cause I don't know, he just got fucking blonde hair in like a fucked up weird style. But no, I mean, if for real though, that shit happens, okay? And the reason I said that is not just because I just don't really like MGK and his music. You know, the only track I really did like was Rap Devil, and I could only really listen to that a few times before it kind of wore on me. But you know, I've never really been about MGK, and the reason I said that is because, look, I've seen a bunch of artists who, you know, start out in hip-hop and grind their way up to a good level, and then they start exploring in other genres and stuff like that, you know, Lil Wayne, Tech Nine, stuff like that, you know, because they like all kinds of music, they want to challenge themselves, everything like that. So when MGK, you know, went from hip-hop, started doing like rock and pop type stuff or whatever, you know, I didn't see that as a sellout, okay, per se. But the reason I was saying that is because he did a couple of videos about, or a couple of movies, I mean, and his character in there was one who was soulless and fucking junky and, you know, did whatever for the next fucking rush of fame and money and shit like that. And I don't know, I just thought it was hilarious that it's just weird timing, you know, that, not to say that those two aren't legitimately attracted to each other, you know, MGK and Megan Fox, but the thing is that he made a comment about, you know, whenever they announced they were together, about how he had always aimed to get Megan Fox. Like, that was like his lifelong dream was to get Megan Fox or something, right? And I'm just sitting there, I'm just like, okay, like, I get saying that, you know, to you know, make your girl feel fucking amazing and shit like that, you know, but let's just take that on its face, right? Let's talk conspiracy theory on its face. So dude hops in the fucking hip-hop industry, he wants money and fame, and, you know, after a little while Megan Fox hops on the fucking stage or whatever, and he's like, I want Megan Fox. Okay, there's some goals, 100% there's some goals, but you know, you obviously know there has to be attraction there in order to get somebody. But let's go conspiracy theory. So we know that Hollywood likes to take young kids, fuck them up mentally, do a bunch of fucking pedo type shit to them and all that fucked up shit, right? Introduce them into the fucking lifestyle of complete disgusting debauchery and shit, right? And I'm not just talking about some S&M shit, I'm talking about fucked up shit. But you know, we all heard stories about that, you know, Macaulay Culkin, Justin Bieber, you know, a bunch of Hollywood people who started out when they were younger, or even people that started out like right as soon as they were legally adults or somewhere in there into the business, and they've spoken out about, you know, child sex trafficking and the pedophilia in the Hollywood industry and everything like that. You know, they talk about how it's fucking disgusting in that industry, and that if you want to certain levels, you gotta do certain things, you know, and how people will sell their own kids and stuff like that to these fucking disgusting ass pedophile executives and shit like that in order to get their kid to keep rising, because it also elevates them and stuff too. Horribly fucked up shit, right? But let's take all that conspiracy fact, twist it into my little conspiracy theory that MGK sold his soul in order to get Megan Fox, right? I almost said Megan Kelly. but all right, so he's climbing up through hip-hop. Fuck it, this is gonna be my rant. He's climbing up through hip-hop, making his way, right? And he's saying all the right stuff, making all the right tracks in order to hop on all the waves and trains and bandwagons, right? Makes his way up, ends up getting signed in general to the same label as Eminem or something like that. I can't remember. I think he's part of Interscope or something, but or he's got some kind of connection to Eminem. I can't remember exactly what it was off the top of my head, right? But I'm sure somebody can go fact check that. He gets up in there, and then of course, you know, Eminem and Dr. Dre, their business model is beef sales, right? They're bigger beef salesmen than Omaha Steaks. I've said that before, and that's what they do to get their music out. They have beef, you know. I mean, the Tupac Biggie thing was a big way. That's what they learned. They're like, shit, man, this thing makes money. So, you know, then they had, you know, Game and 50 Cent fucking coming out together, but then they turn on each other. It may have been real, may have not been real, you know, or it may have been kind of real, and then it popped off as some real shit. And you got 50 Cent, who's always trolling everybody, and Ja Rule, you know. Well, 50 Cent mainly had big beef with Ja Rule coming up and stuff like that, and they were using that as a sales tactic and stuff. Eminem, you know, he had a big sales tactic of beefing with a lot of people, pretty much anybody. And so then whenever him and MGK started going at each other, everybody's like, oh man, this is boosting record sales. It came out just on the heels of Eminem's, new album that was trash and shit like that, right? Which I think most every Eminem album is trash, but that's just me. They're talking about all that stuff like that, and then he goes up and, he gets a different level of fame, and then, then you start seeing him on stage, with a guitar and fucking doing different kinds of music and pop and shit like that, right? And then he gets the opportunity. Hey, you want to go this next level? We'll give you Megyn Kelly. She's part of the club. And you can get with her, you can be with her, but you got to do everything that we say. You can get all the money, all the fame, everything like that you want, but you got to do this, and that. And he was like, well, fuck, I've already came this far. I've already sold my soul so much that, yeah, fuck it. Let me get Megyn Kelly. Let me get more money. Let me get more fame. Yeah, I'll go to the fucking video awards or whatever it was, wearing all pink with a pearl necklace, looking like some fucking 40-year-old fucking rich man's wife. Let me go looking like that. And what does that do? Well, for instance, that puts a big target on his back from the hip-hop community for ridicule. That also sets him up for some people to start making diss tracks against him to come back with diss tracks and pop up his profile some more. But I think what it ultimately does is there's been this overwhelming actual conspiracy, right? We talked about this last time. The technical definition of conspiracy is when two or more people get together for an agenda, right? There's been this conspiracy to take out not only just strong men in general in the culture of all countries, right? But especially in hip-hop. See, hip-hop started out and it was highly masculine, highly aggressive, and it exemplified, honestly, the way I've always expressed it is it exemplified exactly what Americanism is, right? And what I view Americanism is how it's always been viewed. Rugged individualism, pioneer spirit, do what you want, fuck everybody, I'll take what I want type of thing, right? Now obviously you don't rob from people, but being industrious, being an inventor, coming up out of nothing and becoming everything, right? We hear all these success stories and stuff like that. You can see it every single day. Look at Elon Musk, right? How did he get to where he is? Well, I don't know. There's conspiracy theories behind that as well too. But just like if you look at his story face value, right? A scientist or whatever that comes over here from South Africa and founds a company and is immensely successful and highly innovative, and he just does all kinds of great and amazing things, right? SpaceX and Tesla and Boring Company and all kinds of stuff, right? And that's what the American spirit is. But the American spirit has always also been something of toughness, of for lack of better words, masculinity. Right? Is I'll do what I want, I won't harm nobody, but don't fuck with me or I will destroy you, right? And that's what hip-hop came out. Hip-hop was coming out of a struggle, right? And was saying, hey, look, our fucking whole community is being destroyed right now. It's all by design, and fuck this, we're fighting against it, right? Gangs started fucking forming in order to take control and take care of their own neighborhoods. And then, of course, that got co-opted by, people getting bribed by local officials and stuff like that in order to take over those gangs and then work in a criminal manner in order to discredit the gangs themselves, right? Because if you go look back, you all know that most gangs, not all, most gangs, especially like Crips and Bloods and stuff, were started as community organizations that they helped the low income people in the community. They helped the community just like the mafia did and stuff like that. There's always been that kind of communal thing, right, with humans, especially here in America, right, where we'll have a small community, and then that small community will take care of itself. You have leaders that naturally arise out of that, and those leaders have to figure out how to protect the community from threats, right? And so obviously with more power comes more responsibility, and then people get corrupted by that power. But people naturally band together and naturally protect each other, right? And hip-hop came out of all that and was standing up. You had Fuck the Police, you had all this kind of stuff. Pac was a big one, Biggie, Nas, even Jay-Z and his bunk ass. Fucking, I don't like Jay-Z, but that doesn't matter, because all of that hip-hop was all coming out, even whenever it went like hardcore gangster, right, with guns and drugs and pimping hoes and everything like that, right? Even whenever it started transitioning into that, away from stuff that like KRS-One and people like him were talking about, education and all that stuff, it did go a different way into more of like a militant gangster style and everything like that. Even with that, it was highly masculine. And when Eminem even came out, he could say faggot and call people gay, and you could calling somebody a cocksucker, or saying somebody, telling somebody to suck your dick, that was horribly disrespectful, right? Because it was a culture of masculinity, right? And being homosexual was a thing that wasn't a thing. That was seen as a feminine act. If you're being sexual with another man, that's what the feminine aspect of society does. You have males and you have females. It's a standard genetic thing, right? And so that was seen as that. And as the gay rights movement came up and stuff like that, people started being more accepting of gay people and stuff like that. Even Eminem stopped saying faggot and gay and stuff like that. And a lot of people have spoken out against stuff like that and the welcoming of openly gay people into hip-hop. But because there's two different things. Now, most people don't really care what other people do in and of themselves, right? Most people, even the most masculine guys, will even say, oh, dude over there is gay, those two guys are gay, whatever. I don't give a shit. I'm not gay. I'm gonna mind my own business over here and fuck some bitches, right? but they saw the conspiracy behind it. Now, what was that conspiracy? To take away masculinity and aggressiveness out of society in order to control it better. Because you can't control a society that's highly masculine and says, fuck you. You can't. You cannot come in there and control that society unless you are the warlord. And then there's always going to be people coming up and knock you off your thing. That's how, warlord type societies and stuff like that work. Like the cartels down in Central and South America and stuff like that. That's how that always works. Even in the Middle East. When you have that kind of society where it's a warlord style society, that always has the most aggressive person at the top, and they always got to try to keep away more aggressive people, because those people could kill them and take their spot, right? And people who want to control the world, they made a decision, like I was talking about. If you go watch the documentary The Power of Nightmares, you'll see what happened. That and after World War II, the UN came up with their plans in order to end all war. What you got to do is you got to take away the aggressiveness of masculine societies, right? So there has been a steady demasculation, if that's even a word, of society all around the world to control it. Because with testosterone and masculinity and stuff like that, you will be more aggressive. You will stand up more. You will say no more. And I've said this before, this whole mask thing that they got going on right now is a big test of that. Because before the mask, you walk through society and you see the big tough guys, right? And you're like, oh shit, that's a big tough guy, right? Well, you'll see once they're told to put masks on, then that all goes away. You still see some people like Harkos, right? I'm not a hyper masculine guy, but I like to try to be one, you know, because I feel that that's my role. My role is to be a security and a provider for my family and try to be a leader in society, you know? And so that's what I think every man should be. Every man should strive to be something similar, right? Be the provider and security in their family and be a leader in society for positiveness, right? And so that's one thing that hip hop's always fought about. And so that's why when, you know, the whole Jadakiss is bisexual thing, when that all came out back in the fucking early 2000s, that was like the worst thing possible that Jadakiss could ever have done, was said that he likes guys as well, right? He wasn't even full gay like Frank Ocean or nothing, right? He was just saying he was bisexual. And that was just the worst thing in the world. Why? Because that was seen as a feminine thing. And you know, there is an agenda to control the world. Everybody knows this. And the way that they're trying to control it is by taking away masculinity and have a more servile society that will be more subservient, that will do what they're told, that will put on a mask when they're told to, that will take a vaccine when they're told to, that will eventually turn into a society like in the movie Demolition Man with Sylvester Stallone and I can't remember that chick's name. It's not Julia Roberts, it's somebody else. Anyway, it's got Wesley Snipes in it too. That society right there was a highly effeminate society. There wasn't any masculinity. Whenever he was thawed out 20, 40 years later or whatever, he was the most masculine person in the society, right? And he was a highly masculine person back in the 90s too, right? In the movie. But he came out and he was like super masculine. Everybody was feminine. He was even talking about that. He's like, what the fuck is going on around here? There's like no men anymore. And he saw one guy he knew from back in that time frame. And that guy was like, you know, not a hyper masculine guy back in his day. You could tell, but he was even like, yeah, things have changed. We just got to kind of roll with it, right? But, you know, they had bitchified, if you want to say that, the whole society to where everybody did what they were told. There was no contact, right? No physical contact. They did air high fives and shit like that, right? If you go watch that movie now, and you go look at like, man, they were predicting that as a future. No, it was a plan. The plan has always been have a catastrophe, like what happened in that movie. There was a big earthquake, and then there was plague and disease, right? And just like was that Sandra Bullock, I think? Yeah, that was her. Anyway, just like she was saying, like he was like, what happened? You know, things used to be like this, and she was somebody who like studied like the movies and stuff from the 90s, from the 20th century, and she loved that kind of stuff because it was a nostalgia thing. And she was saying what happened, why, if they want to have kids, they go to a lab, right? You have to have permission from the scientific dictatorship in order to have kids, right? There's no physical contact in sex anymore because of all these diseases. There's no physical contact with handshaking or anything like that anymore because of diseases, right? And then, you know, there was a joke in there about the 3 seashells instead of toilet paper, right? But what did that society turn into? It was highly corporate driven because there was a franchise war and Taco Bell won, and every restaurant was Taco Bell now, right? And then all the food was, you know, in pills, and it would get hydrated, and it was all synthetic. They lived in a synthetic world. That movie was created as a fucking warning, believe it or not, just like The Matrix was, just like a lot of movies have been. V for Vendetta, stuff like that, because there has been this plan after World War II. They really put this into stone with the UN and stuff like that, and the UN's main agenda was to end all wars. And in order to do that, they had to take away masculinity because they saw that as the aggressiveness in society. And they, you know, you have a bunch of like armchair fucking aristocrats and educators and sophisticated fucking people and people who had families of money that were running the world, right? That still are. They see masculinity as the aggressiveness in society, of the uncivility in society, and in order to stop war, they gotta take the aggressiveness out of society. So they started in with destroying the families, right? They did it in the black community. They've done it in all communities now, right? You know, people don't get married that often. When they do, they get divorced more often than they get married and stay married. More kids are born into broken homes than ever before. You have so many single parent homes and kids who are born to couples who never even have gotten married or sometimes never even shared a house, right? And so you have not only men but also women as kids, you know, as boys and girls being raised in broken homes with no positive role models from either aspect, but no strong male influences and stuff like that. So what do they turn to? They naturally are going to turn to the thing where they're at all the time, the state, the government schools. And the government schools were always put in as an indoctrination form. You know, you standardize everything. When they standardized all the schooling system and they, you know, created the Department of Education back in the 70s, everybody was against it because they saw what was going to happen. That the government was going to control all education and therefore control all information and all thought, and therefore control the whole population. It's a systematic agenda, and all the major governments of the world answer to the United Nations and the global government. We've been in a global government since the end of World War II. It's just have been slowly implemented to where we're all used to it and we're all fine with it now, for the most part. See, hip-hop was started to fight against all that shit, to fight against broken homes, to fight against violence in society, to fight against, you know, the big drug pushers and stuff like that that were crippling society, because a lot of these highly addictive drugs destroy the person inside of them that take them. You know, when a man takes heroin or crack or meth or something like that, it destroys their soul immediately. They're no longer somebody who can be trusted. They're no longer somebody who can be seen as a threat in society. Except for they're going to steal from you. They're the weak ones in the society, right? Broken homes, no positive masculine influence and everything like that. It's all by design. And you can read books. I've showed y'all the books I got right fucking here. Where the fuck are my goddamn books? I got them right here in my fucking in my drawer right here, right? 1984. When you start reading this, you see fucking highly aggressive, crazy females run the world, right? I got nothing against fucking women. I got nothing against controlling women or powerful women whatsoever. But in there, it's the ninnies. It's the crazy control freak women who are single and who are fucking bitter against everybody, right? The kids are separated from their fucking families. The men are weak, right? The kids go off to basically an indoctrination camp when they reach, like, I think it was like 10 or something like that, right? When they reach a certain age, when they start getting like the pre-puberty, somewhere in there, they're taken away for extended periods of time and they're indoctrinated by the state. And then when they come back, they snitch on their parents if their parents aren't following the government rules. They basically can do whatever they want because they're following the government rules. Their parents have less control over them than the government does, right? It's all in 1984, and this fucking book was written and published in, what was it, 1948, 1949? Where the fuck is it? 1949. Copywritten in 1949. The book was written in 1949. Now, everybody knows George Orwell was actually Eric Prince. And Eric Prince was part of one of those elite families that like to fucking interbreed and shit like that for purity of not just race, but purity of bloodline and stuff like that, because they felt that they were designed to fucking rule everything. right? That they were divine. They came out of all the ends of all the kingdoms and everything like that, right? Because kingdoms have always been something like that. You got to keep the royal family, bloodline, and everything like that, right? And then that is the divine bloodline to rule everything. Well, they just changed this when the industrial age came, and after America won their revolution, started being independent, they just changed it to a form of democracy. Then corporations took over the world, right? Then you got this book right here, Brave New World. Aldous Huxley wrote this. His brother Julian Huxley was part of, well, they both were part of big eugenics and other societies like that back in the early 1900s. And this, everything we're experiencing right now in 2020 and have been experiencing is all been planned in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Always been planned, man. And science fiction has been trying to tell us about it for so fucking long. And crazy motherfuckers have been trying to, say, because once you read this shit, and once you start noticing, if you have the mental capacity to be able to read 1984 and then look out your window and look, they were talking about telescreens, which were big walled screens that had two-way cameras. They could see you and they could hear you anywhere in your apartment on this one big screen, right? And the writer, or the main character in there, had to go into this one little corner of his apartment where he could not be seen by the telescreen. And that's where he defied the government. He had a pencil and he had paper and he wrote what he wanted, what he was feeling inside, right? Because the only place that you were safe to your own thoughts was in your mind. You couldn't speak them anymore. You couldn't exert them anymore, anything like that. And the telescreen was watching him during the morning exercises that everybody had to do, right? And the person on the other end, it was broadcast everywhere, but the person on the other end would be like, hey, you, and call him out by name, lift your arms higher. 100% controlled society. Dude wrote about it with telescreens and microphones and shit like that back in the fucking 40s. He knew that they would have this technology because it was the plan. His family was part of planning it. He turned against his family, had to come up with a pseudonym in order to fucking do it. He turned against his family in order to warn society on what was going to happen. What their plan was. War and disease cause destabilization, take out the fucking hyper-masculine portion of society in order to control it. Then you put hyper-control freaks in charge and you fucking run everything and everybody else is slaves. And in Brave New World, Aldous Huxley even talked about that in an interview you can go find, where he says he feels that the society of the future is not going to be like 1984, but will be more like Brave New World, in a society where people are stunted physically and mentally, where a society where people actually welcome and enjoy their servitude and want to be enslaved in the system because of the security that it supposedly gives them. And even our founders say, when you give up security for liberty, you will get and receive and neither, right? Neither. If you give up your freedoms in order for security, which means you give up your responsibility to protect yourself to somebody else. You give up your responsibility to feed yourself and your family to somebody else. You give up your freedom to create your own money and income to somebody else. You become indebted to them. You become a slave to them. You become an indentured servant to them, however you want to view it. I know whenever white people say the word slave, it triggers people to fucking the African slave trade, right? I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about slavery in general, the act of being enslaved to somebody else. Everybody is in it right now. There's only select few people, which I try to reach right here in the core community of hip-hop, of being a part of that, to stand the fuck up. Stand the fuck up, man, and do what's necessary. And what might be necessary is being like Harkos and walking into places and not wearing a mask. And when people actually say anything, which most people don't say anything because most people don't care, right? But when people actually do say anything, just tell them, hey, I got a medical exemption, right? Because, they passed the Americans with Disabilities Act that says that places can't discriminate on people based on medical status, right? That's why they got wheelchair ramps and handicap accessible bathrooms and everything like that. Every place has to have them, right? Well, I got medical privacy thanks to that, and thanks to that, I have medical exemption. And when they put out all these fucking mandatory things, either for corporate or from government, they have to include that exemption in there for people with medical conditions. So you just say you have a medical exemption, and then when they try to kick you out of that place, like they have me, and I finally decided to start changing my shit a little bit more, right? Because when it first came out with this mask shit, when it was mandatory in my state and all these businesses were doing it, and I'm sitting here trying to do these deliveries that I do for my money, I have to go inside all these businesses and shit like that. I wore it, and it ate me inside so much. I felt my soul breaking every time I put it on to go inside somewhere, right? So after about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks, somewhere in there, I said, fuck this shit. I can't do it anymore. My conscience is screaming at me. Don't do this. You know it's fucking wrong. You know it is not right. You know everything is not right about this whole situation. You have said this, Harkos. This is me talking to myself, my conscience talking to myself. Ever since Trump declared the national state of emergency and they started with the whole task force and everything, you were the one out there saying, this is the new 9/11. Look what they're fucking doing. Now they went from having a joint terrorism task force to a fucking task force on a fucking cold virus. You've seen when they try to silence anybody talking anti the narrative. Science has always been about the scientific method. You have your hypothesis and you test that. And then whenever anybody can come in and counter your hypothesis, if they have different views with different data, and whatever data wins. And that's the science. But now in 2020, we can't have that. We have the directive. And if anybody comes out and says, hey, I've done different studies and stuff like that, and I showed this information, they're like, no, that is fake. That is anti the religion. Just like during climate change, right? And guess what? It's all based on Agenda 21 and Agenda 2030 UN directives. They wrote this shit back in the fucking 90s for Agenda 21, and they've been implementing it. Agenda 2030 is the same fucking way. And then, of course, they have all their stuff that hasn't been extremely public that they started writing back in the early 1900s that has been implemented and stuff like that I just went through. You guys got to educate yourself. You guys got to educate yourself. You got to stand up. Even if it's little things like going into places without a mask, and instead of saying fuck you, I don't believe that shit, at least half playing along and using their shit against them by saying I have a medical exemption. Which, I mean, honestly, I got some shit that I can be medically exempt from, but either way, right? You just walk in there, tell them, I'm sorry, I got a medical exemption. You know, just be polite with them too, right? Sir, ma'am, you know, apologize. I apologize, but I have a medical exemption, yada, yada. And then if they ask you to leave, be like, I'm sorry, but you can't discriminate on me based on my medical status, according to the Americans with Disabilities Act. All right? So you can't kick me out of here. I'll be polite. I'll keep my distance from people. You know, I'm not trying to cause any havoc. You know, you say it in a calm tone, right? Because calmness always helps people too. You say it in a calm tone. Hey, I'm not trying to fucking start anything. You know, I'm just trying to come in here, handle my business, and leave. All right? I'll keep my distance from people. I know people are concerned about this stuff and everything like that going on. You know, you play into them a little bit, but you do it as a show, because I fucking guarantee you, you walk around in a place without a mask and everybody in there is wearing a mask, you will see people look at you and you will see different things in their eyes if you know how to read people. You will see fear in the eyes of some people. They will fucking go out of their way away from you, right? Because they're seeing you as a plague, because they're being taught and trained that anybody can be a plague carrier. Don't fucking touch people. Don't go around people. Hide in your holes, right? But then you'll also see people who will look at you and be like, man. And they'll be the people, the fucking thing that trips me out is whenever I walk in and I'm just wearing some gym shorts and a fucking cut off fucking black t-shirt, right? Because it's summertime, it's still hot. I'm just wearing that and some fucking shoes, right? I just walk in. And I'm not a big guy. I've talked about this before. I'm like 165 pounds, 5'11", right? I'm not a big guy. But I walk in there, you know, confident and sure of myself or whatever, no mask. And you see like, these people that are, 200 pounds, muscular guys or whatever, wearing fucking grunt style shirts, American flags, or they'll even have a mask that's an American flag mask or a Trump 2020 mask or something like that. You'll see people who are like, rah, rah, America. And they'll look at me and I can see in their eyes that they feel ashamed of themselves. Because they know that the base of freedom and Americanism is standing up for what you believe in. And they know in their hearts, I'm talking about a good chunk of these people, right? They know in their hearts that they don't believe everything being pushed by the government and by pharmaceutical industry about corona. They know deep in their heart it's all a maneuver for control. They know something's wrong. They see through the shit. They see all the people lying all the time. They know what truth is in their heart in general, even if they don't know big details and complex shit. They know in general they're being lied to, they're being manipulated. They know it's bullshit. They just know it's bullshit, right? They don't know all the technicals. They just know it's bullshit in general. But they also see Harkos walking in and they feel ashamed of themselves, that they know all this shit deep in their heart, but they don't have the balls to stand up and to do something as basic as me. Fuck, I remember one time I walked into a place, a cop was in there, right? Cop wearing his mask, right? Cop was in there. I walk in there, no mask. I saw a cop in there, I said, let's see how this goes, right? Go in there. Lady says, sir, do you have a mask? I said, no, ma'am, I have a medical exemption. I say exemption, right? Not condition, say exemption, right? Because it sounds very technical. And she goes, oh, okay. And I saw her glance over at the cop. The cop, I saw out of the corner of my eye, he looked up at her and then looked back down at his phone. Right? Nothing. And she goes, oh, okay. And then got me my shit and I fucking got up and got out of there. Nobody said anything to me. I had a couple of people that were standing there in line. They actually looked at me and I looked at the cop to see if he was gonna do nothing. And they're like, whoa, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. Because there is so many people. It's called the silent majority, right? They always talk about the silent majority when it comes to elections and shit like that and political shit. There's a silent majority that knows deep in their heart that certain things are wrong. But they're just too polite. They're too polite, right? Which is not a bad thing in general. But when you're so polite that you literally will do what you know is wrong in order to be polite to other people and make them feel comfortable, that is a weakness being played against you. That is how people who want control are able to control you. They play on that. They play on your weaknesses for their power and their control and their gain. It's all laid out, man. I'm gonna stop ranting. We're getting close to the end of the show and shit. I need to play some more hip hop for y'all, man. But damn, if that one right there wasn't a good fucking rant, man. And I didn't even try to go that way. I wasn't even gonna do a rant right then. I was gonna wait a few. Anyway, stand up for what the fuck you believe in. Be hip hop. That's the culture of hip hop, is standing up for what you believe in. Not what you're told to do, but what you know inside yourself to be true. Take information. Take opposing viewpoints into consideration. Use the scientific method, right? Which I just talked about. Use that in general in your life. You don't gotta be a scientist to use it. It's a very base thing, right? You take information, you take different information that opposes it, and you see which one matches up and which one wins. And then whichever piece of information wins, that's more true. That's more real. Just like how they found out everything in science, right? Everything from fucking gravity to nuclear explosions. Everything. How they found out that eating sugar all day is not good for you, and how eating fruits and vegetables and, lean meats and stuff like that in general is better for you. They tested it against each other. Right? We're not hummingbirds. We can't eat fucking sugar water all day. We gotta have vitamins and nutrients and shit. Think for yourself. Be a rebel. You know? That's one of the trippiest things that I see in the world going on right now, is all the people who have always been the rebels of society are now doing exactly what the fucking government is telling them. You know, I'm 33, right? Graduated high school in 2005, and you know, that was back during the Bush time, right? And you know, at that time, the conservatives were led by the neoconservatives. They were highly religious and stuff like that, right? And they were pushing more of a religious agenda. And the counterculture to that was liberalism. Let us be free. Let us be gay if we want to. Let us live our life how we want to. Let us use drugs if we want to. Let us listen to the music we want to. If we don't want to be religious, we won't be, and stuff like that, right? Because the culture of that time was be religious, be monogamous, be heterosexual, be, you know, be pure, be chaste, stuff like that, because the neoconservative movement was more of a hyper-religious movement. They used that to their benefit to gain power, right? Check out the documentary The Power of Nightmares. I'm telling you. But it's a BBC documentary. But, you know, the whole counter to that was, no, we want freedom, which was what liberalism has always been. Libertarianism, like I tell y'all right here with the black Gaston flag, right? Rugged individualism, be what we want to be, do what we want to do, as long as we don't harm nobody else, leave us alone, right? Right? And then all those rebels got into power, and now the counter to that is coming back to try to balance it to more of a wholesome way of seeing things, because the liberalism is going way off the fucking rails. It's a pendulum, right? It was swinging highly conservative, and it went to like the extreme religious conservative portion, right? The Puritanism, right? And then it started swinging back, and now it's went to complete leftism, where like people are embracing like the most degradatious portions of, you know, Satanism and fucking pedophilia as a sexual orientation now, and shit like that, when it's not. It's fucking rape. If anybody over the age of 18 is being engaged in sexual activities with anybody, you know, younger, especially under the age of 16, right? Because 16 and 18-year-olds getting together, that's like, you know, they're in like the same mental state, right? But if like a 19-year-old is getting with like a 12-year-old or younger, or like a 30-year-old with like a 12, you know, stuff like that, when it starts getting big age gaps, that's where there's fucked up shit. But like, it's swinging really hard, and so then now you have this other movement coming in, man. But I just can't believe it, man, because back whenever Obama was coming in and stuff like that, you know, there was a big push against the pharmaceutical industry, and now everybody's riding the nutsack of the pharmaceutical industry. Why? Because of fear. Just like after 9/11, people rode the nutsack of the military-industrial complex, which Eisenhower warned against at the end of World War II. They were riding the nutsack of the military-industrial complex because we were attacked. Everybody was afraid of the radical Islamic terrorists, which were actually doing some fucked up shit. They were actually out there killing people. Right? That all faded away. You know, ISIS and everybody was destroyed. Yay, hurrah, hurrah. Now we don't have an enemy. Well, here comes the pharmaceutical industry and say, hey, we got an idea. Let's get a fucking pandemic going. And they drum up fear. You know, look at how this started back in November with China having people dying in the streets and shit like that, right? Everybody ate it the fuck up. When you look at the numbers now, it's been 9 months. And a fraction of a percent of the population, and across the board, you look at every single small population, right? From the smallest community to the world population, a fraction of a percent have even died from this. And between 1 and 2% have even been affected by it. It's not a pandemic. It's not a pandemic. It is a pandemic. It's a pandemonium epidemic. Pandemonium's running wild. We're all infected by fear. It's time for us to stand the fuck up, take a fucking stand against this shit. Because if you look, you'll see where's the money, where's the power, where's the control. In any situation, when you look at that, then you'll know what the agenda is, no matter what the fucking situation. Stand the fuck up for what you believe, man. And how did I come up with this? Well, shit just all hits at perfect time, man. Speaking of that, I'm gonna get back to the music, and I got this track which I plan to have right around my fucking rant right here. This is HipHop with his track right here called Timing. Crank it up.
You stupid.
Right on time. Needed that. Right on time. Yeah. Look, that was right on time. I needed that. That was right on time. Bring it back. Yeah. That was right on time. I needed that. Yeah. Right on time. Bring it back. Yeah. Yeah. Once upon a time, I thought I blew it. I was young, dumb and stupid, feeling clueless. Donald Faison, trying to move forward, but I had my brakes on. Trying to get my race on, but I hadn't started yet. Trying to bring that G-funk, but I had no parliament. Tried to ask for help, they ain't want no part of it. Coming up from nothing, you don't really know how hard it gets. Scraping through the mud, that was just the start of it. Trying to play a numbers game, but ain't nobody calling it. Now that I'm recalling it, I really wanted it. Cause there was time after time I should've called it quits. Crying at my mama's house, and she reminded me, look in the mirror, baby, remember who you tryna be. They ain't blinded me, I know my greatness. So you can miss me with that hating in your statements. Look, that was right on time. I needed that. That was right on time. Bring it back. Yeah. That was right on time. I needed that. Yeah. Right on time. Bring it back. Yeah. Yeah. That was right on time. I needed that. Yeah. That was right on time. Bring it back. Bring it back. Yeah. Yeah. That was right on time. I needed that. Yeah. Yeah. That was right on time. Bring it back. Bring it back. Yeah. Yeah. Scraping through the mud. That was just the start of it. Trying to play a numbers game, but ain't nobody calling it. Now that I'm recalling it, I really wanted it. Cause there was time after time I should've called it quits. Crying at my mama's house, and she reminded me, look in the mirror, baby, remember who you tryna be. They ain't blinded me, I know my greatness. So you can miss me with that hating in your statements. That was right on time. Yeah. That was right on time. Bring it back. Yeah, that was right on time. Needed that. Yeah, that was right on time. Bring it back. Yeah, right on time.
Yeah. Hopefully that rant I went on right there was right on time for you, man. Speak to everybody whenever I talk about shit like that, man. Whoever wants to hear, whoever's listening, hopefully it's all right on time. 100%. Normally right now at the show is where I tell y'all about my music, but I went on a lot of rant and raving, stuff like that, and yeah, I've already talked about myself a little too much. So, I'm gonna keep playing some more music. Like I said right there, that was HipHop with his track called Timing. Dope track right there. Up next, got TenSence with their track right here called Machine. Crank it up.
Your mind is a machine in your eyes, and you'll see that he's just trying to be king, and she's just trying to be queen, I'm back again, man, I'm back. And with a pen and pad and pen, we could turn this whole place up without the fake stuff. See, everybody in this world has fake personas when it comes to Facebook. Everybody who gets the likes, who has the nicest makeup, who wears the nicest clothes. See, to me, you're all just wasters. You're always spending money on this shit you can't afford to impress the next person. No one's different anymore. Everybody's following trends, that's set, boy. Who the fuck knows? You're all afraid to be yourselves. These are nothing but clones. The next man hasn't got a pot to piss, but God forbid you didn't get the new iPhone. Now here's a very truthful quote for you to listen to. Albert Einstein said, technology will take over minds, and then we'll have a world of idiots. I count myself unlucky to be alive. The vision is we're all imprisoned in brainwashing experiments. Yeah, you're too stupid to realise that I give a shit. Wake the fuck up, get out the bubble that you're living in. Open up your eyes, it's time to finish this. Knowledge is power, and they don't want us having it. This world is ours, and we're only short of grabbing it. Instead of spending hours with your face inside your tablet, let's go learn a thing or two about the madness that's been happening. Go figure. Is a machine. Open your eyes and you'll see, that he's just trying to be king, and she's just trying to be queen, I said your mind is a machine. Open your eyes and you'll see, that he's just trying to be king, and she's just trying to be queen.
I'm sick of seeing people acting dumb because of smartphones. Everyone's a zombie, no emotion, had their heart stole. I'm done with hearing drama on your rhythm, bring some art, bro. This place has got drive, but the leadership part's broke. I don't vibe with you if you do not know what's right or wrong. The problem is you're stuck inside your Instagram and can't get home, man. You just don't open vacancy from what I used to know. Now you're like, bro, you seen these shoes, man, these shits are dope. I just copped the latest jacket from that music video. Cost 300 quid in a zipper, bro, but it's sick, you know. I guess I'm just a different soul. All those kicks are gross. I'm trying to make my own career where I'm not following a rigmarole. Get this money up so I can build and get the kids involved. Some of you just selfish, never helping, and that is a joke. They wanna let me in the door, these haters try to kick it closed. I punch my way through, and that's why most of the time my fists are broke. Call this shit my zone if this been cold. This shit's been old, idiots. If they think I'm listening, man, that shit is old. Shut your fucking mouth, I come with flows that I tip the boat. My mind is made of metal like I'm C-3PO. I'm pissed off cause I'm surrounded by these little numpties talking bollocks, acting punchy. Everyone's knowledge is rusty. I'll make a conscious decision with this and no one can touch me. I'm just trying to educate my country cause
I said your mind is a machine. Open your eyes and you'll see, that he's just trying to be king, and she's just trying to be queen, I said your mind is a machine. Open your eyes and you'll see, that he's just trying to be king, and she's just trying to be queen.
Yeah, right there. That was TenSence, their great track right there called Machine. Man, I ended the show today with a couple of really dope tracks. And you know, the track I played before, and I'm like, I love that fucking hook. I've said it 1,000 times, man. I love that fucking hook. And I'm like, who the fuck is you to tell me what I need to do? You know, don't try to run my life. That's why I try to tell y'all about every single show here at HipHop Hour, man. And I went on a tangent because that's what hip-hop is about. Okay? KRS-One has done lectures about all this shit, man. He talks about fucking stuff on a metaphysical form. He talks about all kinds of stuff. He's an intelligent guy, and he sought out information in his life. He didn't just be like, oh, let me go to school. Oh, the information they put in my brain is what I know. Okay, I'm an intelligent person. No, he didn't do that shit. What do actual intelligent people do? Most of the time they fail out of school because they think differently. Or they just muddle through school because they think differently, and then once they get out or when they're on their own time, they learn everything they want to know and they become proficient and experts at what they want to learn, right? Most highly intelligent people don't do what they're told. It's usually, in general, the lowest intelligence people that do what they're told. Stand the fuck up. Don't do what you're told. Do what you want. Get your education your way, how you want. Double check all your information. Counter it, right? Find opposing information. If somebody says you need to drink water all day and somebody else is saying you need to drink soda all day, fucking do your own math and see which one figures out for you, right? Harkos here, heading the fuck up out this motherfucker. Great show for y'all here today. I'll see y'all next time. Hip Hop Hour is brought to you as always by Fight for Freedom Productions. Never stop fighting for your motherfucking freedoms. Over 3 years now I've been saying that, and I fucking live it, and I believe it, man. Make sure y'all do it. HipHopHour.net for everything Hip Hop Hour. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a good one.